All right, a little bit of change of scenery. As you can tell, we're in the basement, and we got the quad. You guys haven't really seen much quad content since I bought this thing. Um, I think I got it at the end of summer last year, and whenever I bought it, it was it ran decently, but it kind of like spluttered a little bit, backfired, and so I believed at the time it was a fuel issue. So I went ahead and bought a new fuel pump. Seemed to help it for a little while, and then kind of just got worse from there. So me and Mikey ended up um, adjusting the timing, shimming the valves and whatnot, because we figured the valves was the main cause of it hard starting and kind of cutting out. And it actually ran really hot, so that really led us to believe that it was something with the valves. Um, so after we did that, it fired right up and seemed to run pretty all right for a couple minutes, whatnot. And then shortly after that, the fuel pump quit working. It wouldn't prime, it wouldn't do anything. So I figured it was the relay because it's a brand new pump. No way it's bad. So I jumped the relay, so it was constantly running. Even with good spark, everything, still would not fire off. And so I'm thinking that it's still out of timing slightly, or the valves are a little too tight. And it's kind of hard with this because the first time we took it down, I was unaware. The guy that I bought it from didn't tell me that there was aftermarket cams in it. So it's hard with this because the timing marks are completely different, and I cannot find a spec anywhere on how they should be set. So it's kind of just, winging it. I don't know. So I think today we're going to try and see if we can figure anything out. I've messed with this thing on and off a couple times off camera, and just kind of the same stuff. So I'm hoping today we can really just figure out what's going on with it. I hope it's nothing electrical because I suck at that, and when it comes to that, I pretty much just give up. If you need me to get out a multimeter for anything, no. So yeah, let's hope it's mechanical. Even then, it's kind of, do I know what I'm doing? Not really. Yeah, I mean, see what we can do. Probably nothing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead real quick and just kind of strip this down, get all the plastics off. Most of them are just sitting on here because I've worked on it multiple times and just really haven't felt like putting it back together. Also don't know where half the plastic bolts are, so that's a later problem. So I'll go ahead and get all these off, and then we'll kind of see where we're at. We got everything off. I think I'm gonna pull this plug, and I'm gonna test and see if we got good compression first. I think that's gonna be the first step. And then if we do, we'll kind of just move down from there. Yeah. Again, will any of this probably work? No, probably not. I know this is a new spark plug, but this thing this thing has nothing on it. So let's see if we got any good compression. Okay. Okay. So it does seem to have pretty decent compression, honestly, which I didn't think that was the issue. I didn't think we were having a low compression issue, but I just wanted to check and make sure before we dove in super far. So I guess we'll take it down some more. So what we got going on here is right here, this little mechanism, this is the decompressor. And if you look right there on that cam, that little pin that comes out. So when I popped this valve cover off, this decompressor was actually click shut. I can't do it now, but it was actually click shut. It should be able to move, spring back and forth like this. So what this actually does is when you're slow cranking, this will stick out how it is right now, and it'll slightly press on that exhaust valve. And what that does is it bleeds off pressure from the cylinder to make it easier for the starter to crank it over. Because if you're trying to, start at your full compression, it's going to put a lot of strain on it, and it's going to be really hard to start. So this was actually clicked to where it was stuck open, but it's weird because it seemed like it had good compression before I tore this down, but who knows. So we're gonna throw, I already got the plug back in there, we're just gonna throw this valve cover back on and hook that plug back up, and then just kind of set the fuel tank on there and see if we get any different result. But yeah, I did not know that that was stuck like that. So we'll see if that does anything. And again, do I really know everything I'm talking about? No. Could that have even affected it? I mean, yeah, it could have if that was stuck. Is that the main issue? Who knows? Do I know? No. So we'll throw that stuff back on. We'll see if we get anything different. All right, so we got all that put back on. The fuel pump's still not kicking on, and I lost my jumper for the relay back here. So we're gonna show you pretty much how to. Actually, just found it. But if you got any old electrical wire laying around, whatever, you just take a small piece of copper or any wire like this, and just bend it like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just bend it into a U like that. So right here, this is your fuel pump relay plug, and you want to put it in this bottom one and the one right above it. I don't know how this is for all models. This one is a 2009, so I don't know if, I know most of the things on these bikes are pretty much the same as the years go on. But with this bike being the first year of fuel injection, I figure maybe a couple of things would change, I don't know. But I know on this one, if you put this in here, in the bottom, the top, you can hear that fuel pump start to prime. Okay, so nothing really different. Still cranks, not getting fuel. Yeah, I guess we dig into it some more. What we're actually going to do right now, we're going to run an actual compression test on it and see what we get. I got some numbers written down over here on what we should be at. I think we're looking for 170 or above, like 210, I think. I don't know, that's just what I read on the internet, so we'll see what we get. We seem to have a major issue on our hands here. If you will take a gander. Under 50 psi. So yeah, let's dig into that. So you saw the compression test. We have about 50 psi. So I went ahead and checking these valves again with the feeler gauge. Exhaust seems to be in spec in this front. Very first valve seems to be good. These back two right here, really tight. I don't think there's really any clearance in them. So we are going to pop this tensioner out and pop this cap off, and I think get these reshimmed, try and get this line back up at top dead center again, everything in timed. I don't know if you guys can see well. These hot cams, the timing marks on them are very different than stock cams, so it's very confusing. There's a mark there, there's a mark there, and there's a mark right there. So for the longest time it took us forever to figure out which one of these marks on the intake needed to sit flush with the head. And like I said, we found that form before of what we think what was correct, and that's what we went with. And I think that's how it should be, because that center mark is the only one that will allow that cam to sit in the open position when it's at top dead center. Those other two ones, it will not fit like that. So I think 99% sure that that's how that's supposed to go. I know the exhaust one's correct. So yeah, I think we're gonna pop this tensioner out and reshim those two on the intake and try to get these cams back in where they should be. Pain in the ass. And yeah. All right, I forgot how much of a pain in the ass that tensioner was. So if you ever want to please a woman, just try and get the back bolt out of a 2009 YZ450 chain tensioner. You'll be good. So I think I'm going to pop these caps off now and get some new shims in this thing. And I wish Gavin would shut up with that pressure washer outside.
2 days later. Didn't really work on this at all yesterday. Me and Gavin was doing some stuff out here at the house, and I'm back now. I really wasn't even going to work on this today because I woke up sick as shit. But I kind of jumped on this before I started filming and figured a couple of things out. I think we might be pretty close, really. So originally I had thought that 50 psi on that compression test was a bad thing, but I've come to realize that I'm retarded in that is it trying to start at a lower pressure. So that is not an accurate representation of the compression. So what I have figured out today is this thing down here. You see it zip tied up. I didn't know what this was for the longest time. So it was just hanging down here, not mounted up where it needs to be. Well, turns out it's the tip over sensor. I didn't think the 2009s had them because when I looked into it, I know the older models do, but it said that these didn't, and I never knew what that was. Kind of dumb on my part, but pretty much that was hanging down, and it was telling the bike that it was flipped over, so it was cutting the fuel system. Pretty stupid, I know. But we did have 3 codes on the dash. Now we have 2. The ones left is 3 and 46. We did have 43, but it's gone now. So I think we're gonna put this plug back in, put the tank on, hook it up, and then just kind of see what we get from there. If we get any different results or not.
Okay, it's like a week later because I ended up getting really sick and didn't work on this thing at all. Did not come downstairs, anything. Code 46 is gone. The bike runs. I was super bad about filming today, even working on it. I kind of just came down here, got right into it, and completely forgot to pick up the camera. My fault. But we'll talk about it for a minute, and then we'll let you hear it. Fire's right up now, super responsive. I think the main cause of this was a bad connection from the relay to the injector and then the relay itself for the Code 46. So as you see, we got a little bit of a mess. I stripped all this back, and these little wires that go to the injector, checked them all the way back through here. No visual, tears, breaks, whatever. Where it goes into the back of the relay port down here, it was a little loose. Could have been a factor, I'm not sure, but when I tested with a multimeter, we were getting power to the relay, but coming out from the relay to the injector, we were losing power all the way from here up. It just slowly decreased all the way up through the wire. So I put everything back in. I put the injector, hooked everything up, fuel rail. That's a pain in the ass. And then I put the jumper into the relay, and Code 46 went away. And then I did something else. I think I tidied up a couple more things, and then tried and went and started it, and it didn't really do anything. It kind of acted the same. And so I took I'll show you. I took the electric fan relay
out of the front because it is the exact same fuse, exact plug. And I plugged it in back here. And then a couple more, like 2 more codes came up on the dash, probably because of the fan. And one for something else, I don't know. I first tried to start it, kind of like hiccup, whatnot, and then waited a second, started it, fired right up, and runs good. So I think we solved it. Definitely think the valve shimming and the timing helped a lot with it. I think if those were still the way they are, this thing would not run at all how it does, because those valves were completely out of spec. So yeah, we'll fire this thing up and we'll let you hear it.